Namaste and good evening, one and all. Welcome to Leaders Connect 360 episode LC 187. Leaders Connect 360 CSR initiative by Bija training and organized by the Mass Leadership. My name is Jocelyn. I am the client engagement partner in the Mass Leadership Private Limited. Leaders Connect 360 is started with the specific objective of inviting 1,000 plus leaders and create a million leaders. It is an online hub where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. we learn from top management leaders on Zoom Live, and once in a quarter in each city we have an offline networking meet to network, support and grow with the leaders. That's when we call it Leaders Create More Leaders. Currently, all are muted, and we will be giving you an opportunity to speak to our guest, Mr. Gokul, CEO and Head of Strategy, Mindset Maximus, and panel discussion leader, Ms. Parameshwari, HR consultant on the topic Mental Health Magic. Before you are unmuted, let me share that this episode LC0187 is being recorded. First-time visitors may click on the WhatsApp, FB, and LinkedIn link on the chat box to get updated by joining us in creating more leaders. All in-house are requested to turn on your videos, which will help in making the episodes highly interactive. So, are we all ready to interact with our guest and panel discussion leader? Then share a thumbs up and smiley emoji in the chat box. Thank you. Before the introduction of guests, let me also introduce Mr. Pankaj, Managing Partner, Bija Training, will interact with our guest along with the panel discussion leader, Ms. Parameshwari. I shall welcome you all. Over to you, Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all on behalf of the Bija Training, the Mass Leadership, and the Leaders Connect. So today I'm equally excited to see that what is that we are going to learn today from Mr. Gokul on the topic mental health magic. Because I believe whenever this term mental health comes, we take it on a negative aspect, right? But the term when we add magic to it, let's see what magic we can also do with our mental health, right? So what I just shared with you, I believe every one of you who are here would also associate with that term called mental health. And that takes us to the negative part. But today we are going to see the positive side of it. And for sure, Mr. Google, you are going to help us with your expertise, your understanding. And for sure, we all will be taking a new perspective toward the mental health from today. So before we move forward, I would like to officially welcome you to the forum and Ms. Suma, who is our panel discussion leader, through a mode of formal welcome video. So, Arul, can we have the welcome video for our guest and our panel discussion leader, please? Welcome, Mr. Gokul. Welcome, Ms. Uma, to the
Welcome,
forum.
Pankaj. Welcome, Pankaj, and welcome, Uma Parameshwari. Glad to be here, and it is a great
A warm
opportunity. And
welcome,
Mm.
yeah, warm welcome, Gokul, for our
yeah,
Leaders Connect 360-degree. And it is an awesome episode. Like every Wednesday, we have great leaders in our forum to have some interesting topics and great learning experience for each and everyone who attend the session. And today is it's a little more special because we are going to speak about mental health magic, because
yeah,
happiness always resides in the mind and not anywhere else. So
exactly.
creating such a happiness kind of environment is really important for any leaders. So in this aspect, we are going to take this conversation forward. So let me start with my first question. How can leaders prioritize their mental health while managing high stress responsibility? As we know, every leader has high stress. And
Yeah,
how can the leaders prioritize mental health besides having so much of stress?
yeah. First of all, thank you everyone for having me, and thank you, Uma Parameshwari, for the introduction. So, yeah. So, speaking of leaders handling stress, when it comes to leaders, they are not only handling their own stress, their own personal stress, they are handling stresses from multiple stakeholders, from their upper management, from their employees, from the customers, from the clients. And like it is like an attack on every side of the person. So that is like a key difference between an employee handling stress and a leader handling stress. And for a leader, the stake is much higher. Like one wrong decision, one bad decision, things could go completely south for not only their own personal lives, not only their own career, but for everyone involved within the business. So that is one of the key points why leaders' mental health is important. And how can leaders prioritize their mental health while handling the stressful responsibilities is they can indulge in a lot of self care practices, like taking regular breaks, like a, not necessarily a long break like half an hour, 1 hour, like that, but taking a 5 to 10 minute break to calm themselves, to wind down all the stress that they have gone through for the past 3 4 hours, like that. So that is something that could be helpful. And practicing mindfulness, meditation, keeping a healthy lifestyle on a daily basis. Like when I say lifestyle, it is not like something that happens only once in a month or a year, like getting a gym subscription once a year and then forgetting it. A lifestyle is more of something that like you do on a daily basis, maintaining a proper diet, like what kind of foods that we have, foods that are good for our brain, good for our heart, like that. And practicing meditation, breathing techniques, learning some grounding techniques to cool down yourselves when you're having high level of stress and panicking situations, to take the moment of calm and calm yourselves down and then arrive to the right decision. So that is something that like leaders can do, considering the kind of stakes things are at the stake for them.
So nice. Like, mindfulness is something so much important for anyone, and practicing and having a healthy lifestyle is also something important for any leader to follow. So
Yeah.
let's get into a second question. Like, what strategies can leaders use to identify and support team members facing mental health challenges? This is something very important because the main problem with leaders facing is that the team members cannot handle much pressure. And in
Yeah.
the high-tech environment of the modern times, no, it's high pressure at workplace. So how can leaders help that team members to enhance their mental well-being?
Yeah, exactly. First of all, the main thing with here is, like it is to destigmatize mental health. As Pankaj said like a while ago, mental health is predominantly been seen as a negative thing. It doesn't have to be like that, like you don't avoid a particular team member just because they have a fever for a couple of days. You don't avoid a team member because they had a headache per se, like. So feeling sadness or feeling down in terms of mental health is something that is kind of normal. Like we all feel down once in a while, like 2-3 times a week, like depending on the kind of situations that we face. When it comes to leaders fostering mental health to their team members, so this is something that I tell every HR that I come across, like destigmatizing mental health is the first step, and having open conversations, and not wearing that macho man kind of thing. Like a couple of weeks ago, I got to speak with Abhijit and Envin regarding this, that like basically we men, like want to put up an image like, no, we are a strong person, like we don't cry, or we don't like feel the kind of weakness like that. But it doesn't have to be like that, because it is not. Like we do face sadness as well, like we do get sad as well, we do get angry, like we are just like any other human being. So having that destigmatization and fostering that kind of communication between team members, that is something that is important when it comes to like helping the other team members. Because if you're not having that open conversation, open communication, no one is going to like open up such a sensible thing with you as a leader. And leading by example is also a thing. If you as a leader openly communicate about such things, definitely your team will also come up with saying that, yes boss, I also feel the same way. It is relatable, like those kind of bosses have always been successful in managing their team members. And having a safe space to like talk about these things, not taking this as a survey and then like putting it out in a way that would hurt the employee on a personal manner. Like that is something that shouldn't be done. Having that safe space to like talk about this should be important.
Yeah, that's nice to know. Giving the safe environment for any employee to express himself about his own struggles is the most
Exactly.
important key takeaway for any leader, because that gives an environment security to him to be himself in this given situation. So let's quickly get into our third question, like how does mental health awareness influence leaders' decision making and conflict resolution skills?
That is really a great question, actually, because like learning about psychology, learning about mental health will give you different aspects of human behavior. And like when you're observing humans, when it like comes to when you're a team manager or when you're a leader, you're obviously going to deal with a lot of employees of your own team, and cross functionality as well. Like how mental health impacts us. First of all, the thing about psychology and mental health is it gives you a lot of self awareness, like what you are doing and why you are doing something. And if you randomly get on a therapy session and talk about the things that are bothering you, after a couple of sessions, the psychologist will map the all dots to something that randomly happened in your childhood, and will say that like it is all childhood trauma at some point. Like this is a very very specific case I'm mentioning, but I'm just saying that is the kind of self awareness that mental health will give you. So that kind of self awareness will lead to clarity in thought, and better empathy towards other people. Like I am behaving in a certain way because I gone through something, and if this person is behaving in a certain way, they might have gone through something as well in their past. So that kind of empathy will be developed when you have a good mental health awareness. And it creates an empathetic culture within the team when it starts from the leader itself. Like we will never know what the other person in the opposite is going through. So that enhances empathy. And like when you have someone to talk to from the employee point of view, and that is your boss who understands what kind of things that you are going through, like that is a big strength for employee. And that like a lot of time helps in the boss as well on handling conflicts between two different employees. Because if this kind of culture is created and the boss knows visibility on both the employees personal things and like what is bothering them, like they can have separate calls with both of them and explain them things like how get down to the root cause of the problem, and then the conflict can be easily resolved within like a couple of other calls. So that is how like a very good level of self awareness will lead to clarity of thought and to good level of decision making. And conflict resolution, they will be having enhanced empathy within themselves, and that will automatically it is contingent, it is like contingent, like it just spreads. Having a good heart, kind heart, it just automatically spreads, and conflicts are also resolved easily with that.
Yeah, my key takeaway from this is that we can consider the team as our extended family where we empathize, we give them the space to grow, develop,
Exactly.
recover from the illness or something like that. Whatever the struggles they are having, they can overcome that. We give them the space, usually. So,
Exactly,
in a
exactly.
similar
Because,
manner, we
we are
think
spending,
our team as an extended family. Yeah. Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Gokul.
yeah, because we are spending some 8 9 hours of our day within,
Exactly.
like in our with our work team and in our office. So that is one third of a day. So it is essential to have good well-being within our office space as well.
Exactly. Well put, Mr. Gokul. And my next question is that what are the key challenges leaders face in balancing empathy with maintaining the team productivity?
Exactly. So, as I mentioned previously, like when it comes to conflict resolution, the boss will be having visibility towards both the employees, what they are going through, and all those things. When that gets overboarded, like when that crosses a certain level of threshold, it becomes a mediocre productivity, but a lot of care between the boss and the employee. So that kind of threshold should be identified, and a strong boundary should be, like. Presented between the boss and the employee. So that is something that I would be suggesting. And avoiding leniency is a thing, like whatever happens, the standards and the competence shouldn't be compromised. Like, so that kind of like that boundary should be established. Like as much as I care about you, I will do anything within my power and limit to like help you and get you be your best self. But like ultimately we are here to do the work. The professional objective that we have within our workspace is to get the job done. So that kind of professional competence is should always be established. And so that is something comes with not like letting not getting too personal, and keeping the expectations in a right way. The manager is not there, like manager is someone who helps them get their job done in a much better way and helps them with it, but not there, like a nanny that takes care of them. So that kind of boundaries and expectations should be set in the right way.
Yeah, what I can understand is that you should have a professional target with the kind of a family touch. So that the person
Exactly.
doesn't feel the work of being work pressure. At the same time, he should not be thinking that he's away from the family. So both the things should
Exactly.
be balanced in the right manner. That is the key
Exactly.
takeaway I can say, is that it's something important. And my next question is the most challenging and exciting and also so interesting question I can say among all my questions of the day. So, how
Yeah.
can leaders foster a workplace culture that uh, normalize mental health discussions and breaks the stigma? Because usually
Yeah.
mental health is not outspoken these days, and many times it is there is a stigma attached to it. Like if somebody opens their
Yeah.
views on it, they will be cornered and they'll be shown as a negative person, and he doesn't have the competence to handle the job, something like that. So in
Yeah.
this scenario, how a leader can do it in a more effective way, making it a normalized culture, that is the biggest challenge. And I think there should be lots of work involved in creating a normalizing culture of creating a workplace
Exactly.
which understands what is the positive sides of mental health.
Exactly. Exactly. So one thing I
Yes,
would
please,
say
Mr.
about,
Gokul.
yeah, yeah, sure. One thing I would say about, like employees that get stressed about work, like one thing leaders must understand is the employees are getting stressed about work because they care about the output, they care about the result, they care about their own competency, their own growth, along with, like their own representation. Like it is not only a representation of themselves, but also their teams. So employees who feel pressured or feel stressed about work are the ones that care. Like ultimately that is the truth. So what can leaders do is to destigmatize such conversations, to like normalize having mental health discussions, is uh, they should be leading by example. How this can be done is they can like encourage people to take breaks when like they are having back to back calls, and they can lead by an example by like sharing their own experiences of how they handle such situations, and opening about their own experiences on how they handled stressful environments right from their early stages of like their careers. And having that safe space, that supportive environment is must, and that starts from the leadership, that starts from the management itself. So like having that open conversation, like, and actively listening to them, like not just, yeah, I just scheduled a call because like this person wants to tell something, not like that. Having an active listening and a non-judgmental space where the person can just express themselves, like most of the time a lot of the persons a lot of people feel relieved when they have someone who are listening to them. So if like that kind of an environment has to be created. And like what can corporates do is they can on a scale, on a large wider scale, like on an organizational level, they can implement mental health trainings by psychologists or like their EAP partners, where like a lot of EAP partners these days like provide a lot of not only counseling services but also like resources like articles, blogs, modules, where people can like learn to do the grounding techniques by themselves on like how to handle their panics and all those things. So that kind of things on an organization can do on an organizational level, and on one-on-one level, from a manager to like employee level, like creating that kind of and supportive environment is something that managers can do.
I have a sub question to it because I feel that change management and is the most crucial thing that will be very challenging for any leader in this
Yeah,
scenario, because
yeah,
it is the cultural stigma. It's not only social stigma; it's a cultural stigma in India. So in that case,
exactly.
like how can leaders handle change management? Because if it is a startup, setting up a culture is not a big deal. For an organization which is there for quite some time, and it is already rooted in the society, then change management is a big challenge for any leader who wants
Yeah.
to create an environment which is mental health friendly. So in that scenario, what would be your takeaways?
So in terms of change management, Uh, so let me just collect my thoughts a little second. So change management is hard, like it is very easy for any leader who's just joining a big organization, or like like anyone joining up any organization, to fall prey for like this is how it has been for like so long, like that kind of a bias, that kind of a thought process is very easy to fall in. But change will like it will force us to get into the shape that it requires, because that's how we evolve, and that's how any organization that has sustained for decades and centuries has evolved. So handling stress, handling change management and everything, like it starts from having a clear communication and clear expectation in terms of what are we expecting out of this, and what are we going to be in a particular timeline, and what kind of changes that we are expecting, and clearly communicating to every stakeholder, to the upper management, to like like people who are working side by side like as peers, and people who are their subordinates, and all those people. Like it might have been like this for so long, but as we are evolving, this is the kind of culture, this is the kind of environment that we are like looking to provide. So for like it could be an organization that doesn't talk about personal things, doesn't talk about mental health as such. But moving forward, like I think it is very very essential for every organization at this point of time to ensure that there is very good level of mental health awareness among the organization, among everyone. and to enhance that with better empathy and communication with proper trainings from experts is also essential at this point. So that kind of change management essentially starts with that, keeping that expectations on the right way, communicating it in a very clear way, and empathizing that with their subordinates. Like, it could be hard, but we are doing it for the larger good kind of expectations. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, Gokul. And it's really a honor to have you here for our episode today. And I hope everyone had a lot of takeaways from today's episode. And over to you, Arul, for the next session. And my heartfelt thanks for Mr. Gokul and Arul and other organizers for having you here and inviting me as a panel discussion leader. It was a very great honor to be associated with Leaders Connect. Thank you so much, Arul. Thank you, Gokul.
Thank you
Pleasure
so
is
much,
mine.
Miss
Thank
Uma.
you.
Thank you so much, Miss Uma. Thanks, Mr. Gokul, for
Thank you.
bringing the insights towards the mental health. And one thing I can definitely say, good mental health reflects on your face, and your smiling face reflects that.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
that is what I can say. See, the moment I start interacting with you, at the first moment, I can see that happiness on your face, and that really
Exactly.
reflects. So if we are really healthy inside the body, that reflects, and the mental state, if that is happy, it means you are happy. And the one word, the empathize, the kind of dynamics which are changing the whole world. Okay, so it's not only the professional but rather the personal front also. The word empathize is very important, and the moment we empathize with the other side of the people who are interacting with us, and we understand them or we listen to them, that creates a strong bonding, and that is where it helps you to minimize our stress. The moment it's minimize it our end, because everything starts from us only. It's I
Yeah.
as an individual, right? So what and I have learned it from one of my senior mentor. He says what we give is what we get, and what we get is what we give. Simple.
Yeah.
That's the simple rule actually, right? So this is what I could have connect today, and I have learned a lot many things, and I'll try and practice so that I can, bring down my stress levels to a level and come to the positive side of my mental health. Thanks for bringing in. Thank you so much,
Happy.
Gokul. Yes,
Happy to be here, Pankaj. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to interact with all these people. Thank you.
right. So let's see what others had also learned in last 30 minutes. Okay, so here I would like to invite Dr. Ishwarya, who will ask a quick quiz question and see who answers it first, and the winner for today's quiz will get a book written by Miss Nirja Malik, and the name of the book is I Inspire. Right, so over to you, Dr. Ishwarya, for a quick quiz, please.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hi, sir. I'm very grateful to be here, sir. Actually, we were talking about the last week navigation of like the diversification and uncertainty. It relates this week also, like handling the stressful situations. How can we handle the stress, right? So my question to our leaders connect is: how can a leader take care of his or her mental health during stressful responsibilities? And option A is empathizing. Option B is clear communication. And option C is mindfulness. Let's see the magic who is going to answer this. Arun sir, can you please post this in a text box?
It's
Yes, yes,
already there.
yes, yes.
Yes, let me post, right.
They're getting more answers now. Yes, Aishwarya, now it's your turn. You have to tell who's the winner.
And the options is answers mindfulness.
Okay, so who's the winner as per you?
Like Mr. Arogya Prabhu.
Actually, we got
No,
it.
I think it's Mr. Sukumar Ajish.
Kumar and Ajish.
Again, he's our quiz winning leader. If you see,
Yes.
before putting the question only, Sri Alakya Puja and Mr. Sukumar Ajish has responded. So Sukumar Ajish is again a winner today. Sukumaran
Yes.
sir.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
you
Then we
get
are
an
out of
opportunity to
thoughts,
unmute
sir.
yourself and ask a quick question.
Wonderful Pooja also. She also immediately she just texted A, option A. And Sukumar and
Yes,
Ajish.
yes, yes.
Great, Miss Pooja. Thanks everyone for answering the quiz. Yes, Pankaj, over to you. Yes.
Also,
Yeah,
like people who all mentioned, all of them, please try practicing all of them. Okay, it is no bad in like choosing one and leaving the other. Please
True, true,
practice.
true. Actually, all these three are important. Okay, it's all in combination, right? So
Yeah,
because if until the clear communication also helps us to minimize the stress to certain extent, and the same
exactly.
way is empathizing. So Sukumaran sir, if you want to ask a quick question, unmute yourself and you can ask a question to our guest today.
yeah. Thank you for the session, sir. Actually, before attending the session, suddenly I got a call, and I had to do something. So in that case, how to reduce mental? I was in a mental, whether to attend here or to go there. So just
Dilemma.
Yeah, yeah.
dilemma, yeah. How can I navigate that like the initial one jerk?
Yeah. So like when it comes to a dilemma, like we choose based on our priorities. Like what is the impact on short term and what is the impact on long term. Like and the thing is, uh, like for a second or two, we'll have that jerk, like the mental hijack will happen, and that wouldn't, like let us take any decision properly. It suddenly feels like should I do this, should I do that, like that. So what you can do is you can like try some breathing techniques. I'm just telling you on a very basic level. I shouldn't be technically, like giving you any clinical advices. So you can try some breathing exercises to, like to calm your nerves, and you can try some grounding techniques also, like patting on your shoulders if you're like feeling more panicness or a lot. So usually like these kind of things you will face on a daily basis, and these kind of breathing techniques and like patting in your shoulders like this will help you on such situations. And this is something that you can do on implement on daily basis. It is not like some kind of treatment where, like you will have to go to there here like that to do this. So that kind of things can help you calm your nerves. And my opinion generally is, if you have a clear mind, you will always take the right decision, or the right decision will arrive to you. So
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you, Sumar, and happy to help.
Thanks for answering the. So, visitors, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask questions. So we can have three questions at max, and then we move forward. So, rest of the visitors, you can raise your hand or unmute yourself and ask question to our guest, if there is any.
Yeah, uh, many times it is observed that too frequent changes can cause stress,
Yeah.
especially that it takes a while to accept the change in the first place. But if it is a priority to the organization, how will they handle that and how to overcome that challenge?
All right. So, Lata ma'am, thank you for asking that question in the first place. The thing is, like most of the time, if you look at the bigger organizations, they wouldn't implement a lot of changes in within like on a very small span of time. Like they will give that breathing time. But like we are in a fast-moving world, and things change very fast manner. It like even we can't see what is going to happen the next day, like that. So again, as I mentioned, like when I said about change management, it was like a very general answer, but still, like that is like more like the basic, keeping the expectations right. Like I believe if you are like a leader in person in the leadership, you will have to, like let the management know that we recently implemented this, and this will take time from our employee side as well. And from the employees point of view as well, like, ultimately we are here for a professional objective, and this is something that this business needs right now, and we are taking that decision. And like that kind of collaboration is what we will be expecting from our employees as well. So as I mentioned, the first expectation, keeping the expectation right and setting it in the right manner, that is important. And then clearly communicating both the ways, like We could have announced something last week, and we might have to take it back or change it this week. Like we will have to do double the works what we did last week to like to make sure that the new thing has been updated, because usually people have this recency and primacy effect in their brains. Like we will remember the if we randomly look at a paragraph, we will remember the first line and the last line, not in the middle ones. So when it comes to announcements like this from the HR department, what happens to the from the employee point of view is, like they will remember what was announced initially, and then what they will remember from the latest announcement is something has changed. Like I don't know what that changes, but something they have changed. So so double the efforts has to be put when it comes to communicating the change that we have done in such a short span of time. So basically the skeleton is like keeping the expectations right and communicating to the level that it is needed, and empathizing, because we can't expect all 100 employees to like change at the moment. Like the learning speed of each and every person is different, and they are going to be like handle things on their own way, and it is going to take time. Ultimately they are our employees, and they will like get there. So hope that helped.
Yes, yes, very well said. Clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Lata ma'am. Happy to
Thank you, Lata madam, for asking good question, and Gokulji, thank you so much for answering it very well. So, do we have any other people who would like to ask quick question? Mm. Is there anyone, Arul? If you can see, somebody might have raised their hands.
No, Pankaj,
If
yes,
not, then we can move forward. Okay, fine. So here I would like to invite Mr. Hemang to have a quick summary. So we have today our summary leader, Mr. Hemang.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. Thank you, Mr. Gokul, sir. This was really a good session, a very important topic where mental health is always taken for a choice. So we started, I take this as an opportunity for giving the summary of the day. So we started with how a leader can actually prioritize his mental health first. So he can create a healthy lifestyle for himself by practicing self-care, taking short breaks during his work, practicing meditation on a regular basis, which will lead him to take impactful decisions, and because he will be having a more clear clarity of thoughts, and also while showing that empathy, this will help the leaders to take better decisions and also handle conflicts smoothly. Then we moved on, and the leader can also transfer it to the team, where he can balance empathy and productivity with the team. Also, he can lead by an example, where he can come up with ideas and sharing his experiences with the employees, where he can actually the employees can learn and also communicate with the members and also the leader when if it is really necessary. Then the leader also can foster a non-judgmental environment. That is also very important. Should Because every person have their own ways of handling stress, and also the support, and it should be a very safe place to work. And also the best point that mentioned was the standard and should not be compromised. So that is it, I think. And also we ended with the session with sir mentioning about managing changes, and also how communicating well with the team can lead to good productive results.
Yeah, I would like to add one more thing. I'll just be quick. So, the universe does its magic for those who believe in, but mental health does its magic for people who take care of it. So, take care of your mental health. You are your only asset that lasts.
Oh, wonderful,
Very true, sir. Very
wonderful,
true, sir.
wonderful. Thanks for sharing, sir. Thanks for sharing. So before we move forward, I would also like to thank you, Mr. Hemang, for a wonderful summary. Thanks for summarizing it so well in the simple words. I would like to invite Miss Santamina for the vote of thanks, and then we move forward. So over to you, Miss Santamina, for the vote of thanks.
Um, yes. Hello all.
Hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
hi.
Today I enjoyed the session very well. One of the highlights of today's episode was the awareness that was shared by our guest, Mr. Gokul, on the topic of mental health, which is very much needed in today's fast-paced world, as he told
Yes.
about it. His insights and strategies were practical. I will not tell easy, but it is a practical one that we have to follow. So let me also quickly share the purpose of the community. Leaders Connect 360 is a hybrid model leadership community where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m., we invite a leader who is a master in their field to provide solutions for our real-time leadership challenges. Much like the valuable experience we had today from our guest, Mr. Gokul. And additionally, every last week of the month, we invite an author to share valuable knowledge and insights from their book. To stay updated about our weekly episodes and quarterly events, please follow our social media platforms. Joining our community is very simple. Just click on the social media links shared in the chat box. It gives me immense pleasure to thank our guest, Mr. Gokul, for sharing his expertise, as well as our panel discussion leader, Ms. Uma, and moderator, Mr. Pankaj, for facilitating such an engaging and insightful session. I would also like to extend my gratitude to people who ask thoughtful questions. And your engagement enriched the discussion and made it even more meaningful. A big congratulations to our quiz prize winner, Mr. Sukumaran sir. Your enthusiasm truly stood out, and we celebrate your continuous achievement week after week. Guests and all the attendees kindly accept our heartfelt gratitude through a special thank you video. We also encourage our members and visitors to stay tuned until the end, as we will provide an opportunity for introduction, helping us connect and build a stronger network. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ms. Santavina. Thank you so much. So, Arul, I would like you to have our thanking video. And Gokulji, really nice. And I would really like to be in touch with you on LinkedIn. And let's look forward. And as already you are aware that we do this Leaders Connect every Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:15. So whenever you get time, please be a part of it. And let's see how we can, add more value to the people around. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Thank
I'd
you.
be happy to be part of.
Sure,
Thank you
thank you.
so much.
Arul, can we have the welcome, the thank you video, please? Thank you so much, Gokul sir. So if you
Thank
want
you.
to add any last thing for the people, you can, and then we can move forward.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Leaders Connect, for having me, and thank you so much, Pankaj, for giving me this opportunity, and especially Arul. He has been very enthusiastic and energetic right from the first call that we had on, and very an energetic folk that I came across, and a very
Thank you.
proactive person. So thank you, Arul, for making this happen right from the beginning, and thank you, Pankaj, for Leaders Connect 360 and for having me today. It was a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Gokulji. Thank you. Have a great evening and a week ahead. Thank you so much. Over to you,
Thank you.
Arul, for the networking.